Hi everyone, welcome back to Lockdown Lessons Part 6. With me today I've got Paul Lyons from DSI. So firstly, without further ado, hello Paul, how are you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks Phil. Thanks for inviting me today. Yeah, no, it's really good, feeling
Good
good.
stuff, no problem at all. So for those of you, the people that are listening, could you just explain to them a bit about what you do and how you help people?
Yeah, so I'll give you a bit about me. So I'm Paul Lyons, proud father of three. I'm a Spurs fan, don't hold that against me. And my company is DSI, and we are an IT business partner, and we help customers with their IT solutions and challenges.
Fantastic. Okay, so we'll go into a bit more detail a bit later on as to what types of businesses you work with and exactly how you help them. But for now, I mean, if we could just go back to sort of March the 23rd, at what point did you think there might be an issue for you commercially? At what point did you think that what was going on in terms of lockdown might affect DSI in one way, shape or form?
Yeah, it's interesting because the nature of our business is primarily online connected. Yes, we go and meet people and have numerous meetings, but commercially, we haven't really been affected, to be honest with you. Businesses, I wouldn't say carried on as normal, but to the best of the ability that we have, we've kind of, carried on. I guess one of the challenges we saw in the early days was supply for us as a business. Obviously, with the huge shift to working from home, everybody was after laptops and remote working devices. So that's one of the challenges we saw, stock availability and kind of helping our customers get hold of that stock, because bearing in mind there was thousands of people looking for all of this technology. Yeah, but aside from that, as a business, thankfully, commercially, we've been okay.
Good, excellent news. So, how did you sort of have to adapt to those issues when you first came? The lack of supply in terms of the materials that you could get for your clients.
Yeah, challenging. So we've been around a while, luckily. So we've got extensive contacts throughout the industry and supply chains. But it was as quick as it was coming into stock. It's like, who could get it the quickest? Because there's multiple partners like us in the industry helping numerous customers across the UK. So yeah, we adapted. We kind of kept an eye on stock. Great communication with our supply chain, and yeah, it worked well. Aside from that, because we're an IT business, we were really geared up already to do the whole remote working. A lot of our systems and technology was in place already, so yeah, it was okay.
Good stuff. So, what sort of wins have you seen since lockdown started? In fact,
so wins, I guess for us is almost carrying on as business as normal. It's been quite successful for us. Laptops, I guess, we don't see it as a win, more of a kind of helping our customers as part of our duty, but obviously the increase in the beginning of purchasing of those kind of laptops, devices and remote working webcams, headsets, that in the beginning was kind of a little win for us. But ultimately, yeah, we see that as part of our value, trying to help and support our customers shift to this new way to be living at the moment.
Excellent. Okay, so have you had any other sort of issues that you've had to overcome since you started? Back in March.
Back in March, what other issues we had? Not major. I guess the only slight challenge for us is something we're looking at is our phone system. It did still allow us to work remotely and have like an app on our mobile phone to manage and take calls. Wasn't the greatest, to be honest. So it is something we're starting to address now and look at replacing currently, to be fair. So aside from that, challenges, I think we're probably one of the lucky ones. There's a lot of people in industries different to ours that have obviously had far more challenging times than us, some of our customers as well.
Yeah, I think if this interview was sort of 4 hours long, I'd probably say to you something like, what sort of challenges have you seen your clients experience? And you could have probably given me 101 answers. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot, definitely. We've got customers in hospitality and retail, and some of those guys have obviously been acutely affected and still are at the moment, yeah.
Superb. So in terms of have you made any changes since March the 23rd that you're going to keep on with even after we're out of this?
Yeah, so there's a few changes we've done. Like us having this conversation now over Zoom. We use Zoom, we use Teams. I get the fact that maybe we don't need to go out all the time. I miss it. I do miss it, going out, seeing customers, taking them out for lunch, having a couple of beers after work. So, I hope we do get back to that. But I think the way, not just our industry, all businesses have changed. This is going to be something that all will keep. The online meetings, it works. You don't need to travel. You don't need to jump and drive 2, 3, 4 hours to a meeting anymore. So this is something we'll continue to keep and encourage, video online meetings. But yeah, still want to get out there and get out pressing the flesh, as they say, meeting our customers personal. Phone system again, yeah, that's an area we've identified that it needs a little bit of improvement, so we'll continue to, I guess, review, and we've got an idea where we're heading with that. And yeah, remote working, I get it, we're going to become more flexible, we'll have to be, we need to attract new talent, so that whole remote working piece is going to continue. And aside from that, I think that's pretty much it, really. Okay. I mean, the only other thing we did, we accelerated, it was already in our plan, was our finance systems, being able to access those remotely as well, kind of prior to lockdown and around that sort of time. It was a project, been on the horizon, but all of a sudden accelerated rather rapidly. So that's one of the other areas, being able to manage our finance from anywhere and everywhere. Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of the changes that you have made, would there have been any changes that you would have actually that you would have made earlier, shall we say, that if you'd have had the foresight?
We did it in time. The accounting side of things probably would have been one of them. As I say, it had been a project, but we probably should have got it done earlier than we had. Not knowing this was coming, obviously, but that would have helped out. But we did it, and it wasn't too an arduous task when we got there. And it's taken lockdown to kind of help us identify, just minor, smaller issues that we didn't know we had before. Like the phone system isn't actually great if you're not in the office and you want to be mobile. Connectivity back to our office, we already had that in place. So that a lot of the stuff, being an IT company, we was pretty well set for the new working world we live in at the moment.
Good. So what would you say, Paul, you've learned about yourself over the last 6 months?
What have I learned about myself? I don't like running, but I like to keep active. I like to keep fit. So I used to go to the gym. So that's just a personal thing. I had to keep active during lockdown. So yeah, I took up running. It was okay. It got me out, kept me active. Not so sure now in these dark, cold mornings as they're coming along. What else? I should probably work less hours and spend more time with the family. Maybe we don't do that enough, and I think that's common for a lot of people. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to try and change. Working and running a business, sometimes it does consume you. So you need to take a step back and remember, there is other things outside of work. I could never be a teacher. I'd take my hat off to teachers. That's another thing.
So you tried that out? You tried that out, did you?
Yeah, well, with the homeschooling, so I've got, as I say, 3 children, varying ages, older and quite younger. The older one gets on with it, with a bit of pushing. But yeah, the girls are just in year 1 at the moment. And yeah, it's tough, getting them to try and do work and not getting frustrated with them. Yeah, it's a challenge. So yeah, certainly take my hats off to teachers.
Me too.
I could not be one of those. That's saying I've learned.
I totally agree with that one. I know that lots of people have had a terrible situation. Homeschooling, I could do that. How difficult is it to teach your children? And when it's actually your children, it's a lot more difficult than when it's someone else's anyway. So that's tough. So what would you say the first thing you did after the sort of like the initial lockdown was relieved and you were able to do more of the stuff that you wanted to do? What was the first thing you actually did?
It seems such a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think we did anything majorly exciting. Pretty boring stuff. I mean, immediate family, we hadn't seen them face to face for a long while. It was WhatsApp calls, Zoom calls, kind of having those little remote party type things. So yeah, we saw the immediate family, got together. Went out and saw a few mates, pop to the pub when you could. So yeah,
It
just
was
those
nice,
sort
wasn't
of
it?
things, really. It was just good to get out and about again. Yeah.
Good stuff. So just to go back to DSI before we wrap up then,
Yeah.
if I could ask you who your ideal customer is, and how you actually help them usually, and how you would help your ideal customer, for want of a better expression.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So our customer base is really, really diverse, which is great, and we love it. From small businesses to sort of large enterprise businesses as well, across all different industries, from sports, retail, hospitality, finance, general commercial, travel and transport. So, we help customers really with managing, refreshing, and supporting their IT infrastructure. Kind of what do I mean by that? At the higher end, they have big IT teams. They don't necessarily need all of our support and help and hand holding. So some of that is kind of transactional supply and advice. But where we're trying to focus a lot more lately is into the smaller businesses, kind of where they maybe have one person looking after IT, or just an IT manager, or nobody looking after IT, and they need that kind of support, advice and help, and for us to be an extension of their own team and business. So we can help remotely manage their IT infrastructure, give them advice. In today's world, where there's a lot of cyber security issues with ransomware and viruses out in the market, that's something we kind of pride ourselves on, keeping customers safe and secure as well. So from little things as you need a laptop, you need a desktop, through to, yes, we can help you with your whole IT infrastructure and support it. That's kind of what we do and where we're focusing.
Superb. So over the next sort of 6 months, what size sort of businesses would you be looking for? Obviously, a lot of people in your industry will say we deal with small and large, but from your point of view, what would be your ideal sort of next client that you would pull in?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We talk about it a lot internally because we do want to help the smaller size businesses as well, because they're generally the ones mostly in need of the support.
Yeah.
But I guess if we're realistic, you're looking at probably minimum of 10 people with kind of 10 PCs or laptops, up to 100 plus people we can support and help those guys, and all in between. But yeah, I mean, what I would say is we're always open to give advice and help customers. If there is a smaller business out there that needs support and advice, we're happy to help when we can.
Good stuff. So from what I'm hearing, then, although you do deal with the smaller businesses, ideally you're looking for businesses with staff between sort of 10 and 100 seats, where you can actually come in, help consult them on what they've got already, how they can improve, and then you can put together a program with them of improvement to help them get to where they want to be. Right?
Yeah, very much. Exactly. Spot on, I feel. I mean, even us in the industry, keeping abreast of the changes, the pace of technology is hard work for us. So we want to help customers on that journey. And that's exactly kind of the size of business we'd be looking at, where they don't have the luxury of a full-time IT person sometimes.
Yeah. So from my experience of businesses I've run in the past, similar sized businesses, we've never had a full-time IT person in, and I can really see the value in speaking to someone like yourself that can come in, give us an overview of what's going on. And sometimes even if you have got someone with the expertise, which usually those businesses haven't got, they haven't actually got the time, and they tend to let things slip to the point where they could have ransomware attacks, they could have bigger issues. So I would say to anyone that's watching this now, have a think about the position you're in right now, and if you need just to speak to someone to get an idea on where you're at, put some time in your diary, otherwise it won't happen. Give Paul a buzz, which takes us on neatly to the last question, Paul. So if anyone has got any need for what you do, for some IT support and help right now, whether it's an urgent issue that they need sorting now, or whether it's more of just a consultation on preventative issues that they could have going forward, how can they contact you, Paul?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you that. I just want to touch on one thing quickly for you, mate.
Sure. Go for it.
Finished up on, which is exactly the point. If they do have an IT person, what we see is that the business are driving them to innovate and change and look forward, and they know their business far better than us, and that's their role and responsibility, not just looking after day-to-day issues and challenges. That detracts them from innovation and growth. So yeah, no, you're spot on there. And so yeah, how do you get hold of us? Via our website, via email. So our website is www.dsiltd.co.uk. You can contact us via the phone. Number is 01322 520 480, sorry, and via email as well, which is ukSales@dsiltd.co.uk.
Fantastic. Well, that's great. What I'm going to do, Paul, is I'm going to drop the details on LinkedIn in the comments below so people can easily click and they can reach you that way. But for now, thank you very much for your time. It's been really interesting finding out more about DSI, how you've operated during lockdown. And it's the first time I've found out you're a Spurs supporter. So that's interesting.
Don't hold it against me.
That's interesting news as well. Yeah, I'm not an Arsenal supporter, so don't worry about that. But I shall fill you in at a later time. But for now, thank you so much, Paul.
Thanks for inviting me.
And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Cheers.